morning, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. Welcome to my channel. So today we're back to basics, and what we're doing is we're making a lap book. So it's a book that, before we just had our spine and our two bits that came up like that. This time what we want to do is we want to make that, but we want two smaller spines either side, and this is just Amazon packaging, and then so this will come up like that, that will fit over there, and then we've got a flap in there. And it is basics, we're making it out of card, Amazon packaging. So you can make fancy journals and memory books and things like this. And then we have a flap there and a flap here. So what I did was, I'm just going to bring it in a little bit. No, that's going too far. No. I think that's as far as I'm going to get it. Anyway, so these two flaps, I've got one at 5 inches and one at 4 inches. Now the spine, I'm going to have my spines here. This is 2.5 inches, I think. We'll measure it. Yep, 2.5 inches. These are 6 1/4. These are 1 1/4. So we've got two spines at 1 1/4. This at 2.5. These at 2.5. We've got one at 5 and one at 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write on them. So we've got 2.5. Do you know what? This is terrible. So now we want a piece of paper big enough to put them on. Now what I did was I've got some A3 black paper, because I'm going to cover this in black. Now I bought this by mistake. This is craft card in the core, and then it's been had black put over it. And what I did was I had two A3 pieces. I put them together, and then I trimmed them down to 10.5, and I'm going to put that there. And what I want is I want my spine first of all in the middle. So I'm going to use, you can use double-sided sticky tape. I'm using glue. Of course this is a junk journal. If I was making an album, I would use double-sided tape. You can use any type of glue. Now what you want to do is you want to get that straight and roughly in the middle, and in the middle of there. And there we are. I'm just going to pull that off because that's loose, and this is, I'm not wanting bits sticking off there. Okay, and then we need our two flaps, and 1/8 we need. I'm going to take this off here because I don't need such a thin. And what I usually do is I put my ruler there, and then what I want is I want a line there. That's like 2/10 space between them. This I got from Temu. take that up, put that one there. You can use a little bit of cardboard, anything, you know, if you've got some chipboard off the back of a writing pad, and just cut yourself a nice little strip and use it. And what this does is it keeps this straight for me. So then what I want is, I want my spines. And we'll put that along there. And that there, and then I push that in there like that. And the reason I've used this card is because if you sand it at the edges, you get like, it goes like brown, you know, it shows the craft card through, and I quite like that. Now, this is a smaller space to what I'm normally used to working, so I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to bring that down a bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to just smooth this out and turn it over. Now we're going to work on the long side first, and all I'm doing is I'm just creasing it up. Just creasing it over. And then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to do it on this side. We do the two short ends last. And all I'm doing is I'm just breaking the fibres in the card just so it remembers it has to come over. Like that. And then I am going to use some double-sided tape, but first of all I'm going to cut these off. Now I do have a gadget. Now when you're cutting it off, you want to leave a little bit at the corners, so don't cut it right down to the corner, just cut it like that. I have a gadget, and if I had a cutting mat I would just, and that little bit there fits on the corner, and you just, and that actually gives me more space, and then just cut that. But I've been doing this for a while, so I don't need a corner marker. Now, as I said, I'm going to use some double-sided sticky tape, and I'm putting this down. I used to make albums, but when you're doing this and you have to be very, very precise when you're making albums because they're perfect. But when you're doing this for junk journals, it doesn't have to be that perfect, because we're not looking for perfection. And all I'm doing is I'm just going to put a little line of glue all along there, and then take this off and just fold it over, and it'll grab like that. And then we'll do this top bit. And we'll just burnish that down. A little bit of glue just along the edge, and all that does is it just seals the edge. And then again, just fold it over and just press it down. Then we're going to deal with these. Again, do exactly the same, so we're just folding it over. But first of all, see these, just run, you can use your fingers, whatever. And you can see the cardboard's a little bit cardboard's quite soft, so it's what's it, pliable, malleable. And I like to use cardboard on this because I can now stitch around the edge of this. And again, pull that down. Turn this one round. Not turn it up. Again, put your corners in. If you put your corners in first, it's easy to fold it over. Take this off and put that over like that. So then what we do is we just go in the creases, and if I was making an album I would normally put Tyvek on these, before I even put this down I would put Tyvek on there, and on there, and that just keeps your folds soft and strong. So we've got that there, that there, and we've got, give me my ruler, just going to flatten that down. And you can see it's starting to crack, and that's why I used this, because you can see. And then what happens is, whoops, that goes in like that. And then we've got a nice little lap book. And the spines are going to go on here, and it is these thin spines that I'm using. I prefer these, even in my junk journals. And there's only 1/8 of an inch in between, so the pages are going to be quite close together, but I've only got 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I've got 8 there, and what will happen is that'll close up and that'll go there. So you've got 2 separate journals that are kept separate. But what I want to do is I want to put some card here first. Got a piece to stick over there. Piece. The reason I don't want them covering right up, because when I put the spines in, I want to see the lines. Okay, so I'm going to put the brown side down. The reason I'm putting the brown side down is because I want the black side showing up. And then just kind of fix that in the middle. And you will get a bit of glue seepage, that's fine. So that's the brown side, so I'm putting it put a little bit down here. I forgot on that other bit. Again, just put it in the middle and make sure you've got an even bit at both sides. And you're best off letting this dry, letting the glue catch before you start creasing it, because that's when your problems do start. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to mark that down. And I'm just marking it now, so it's like embossing it, kind of. Just putting like a memory crease in there. And then we'll do this side first, because this was the first side we stuck down, and then over and over. You can use a ruler if you want. You can see where it creases there. Use a ruler if you want. And there we are. There we are. And there we are. So there is our book. And as long as your spine is the same width as that, it should be squared. I think mine looks a little bit longer. Don't know how I done that, but I did. However, never mind. I'm not worried about it too much. And then these bits you can cover with either your black paper, or you can cover it with digitals. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with digitals from the tartan hearts, or because the digital that's going to go in these is the rustic and grunge Valentine's. And yeah, it's a Valentine's kit that I've done for this. However, it doesn't have to be used for Valentine's. Don't, you know, just because it's got hearts in doesn't mean to say anything. You can love anybody any time of the year. You can love flowers any time of the year. You can love anything any time of the year. So just because it's got hearts on it, don't think that it's just for Valentine's. I mean, there's roses there, grungy hearts. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to print a couple of pages out to go over here, and then we will stick them down. But I think what I might do first is I might do the other hinge. So I've got one hinge. I might do that on camera. Normally I don't, because I have got a video that shows it. And these fins are 1/2 inch deep with 1/8 in the middle. And I used craft card that was 180 GSM, so that they're kind of stiff, so that it keeps the pages nice and stiff, and there's like 1/2 inch each side. So I think that's what we'll do. Back. So I've got a piece of craft card. It's 180 GSM, and as I say, I'm going to start with 1/2 inch. Whoop, put that up against there, and just give it a good score. And then another 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch, then 1/8, give it a good score, then a 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch, and 1/8, another 1/2 inch, whoop, another 1/2 inch, and 1/8, another 1/2 inch, and I'm just scoring it down twice, another 1/2 inch, and 1/8, another last one. That over to one side. just shove that out the way, and then we can go into folding it. So what we're going to do is we've got 2 1/2 inches, ignore the 2 end bits, the 2 1/2 inches, so we're going to fold them in half, and we're just going to do the 1/2 inches to start with. Another 1/2 inch. It's actually easier doing it with a light card than it is with paper. For some reason, yeah, the whole pad that I got of this craft card is kind of skew-whiffy. So I'm just doing all these 1/2 inches, and then we'll concentrate, because these are all the mounting folds. The 1/8 of an inch are the valley folds, but you've got 2, so you've got a mountain fold and 2 valley folds. That doesn't look right. No, that definitely is right. And the last one. And then what we do is we do that, lift the next one up, pinch it together and fold it over both sides, and that should give you your 2 valley folds. And then we'll do this one, nip it together so that it's on the bottom. If you want to, you can manipulate it on the back. And then fold it over like that. It is a bit fiddly, yes, I do agree with you. I can hear you all saying, oh, that's too fiddly for me. Once you've done it a few times, it's easy. This is probably one of the reasons I stopped doing albums. There is other ways you can do the fins on albums. Going to go back into that one, and that's better. And all you have to remember is that the edge of that one has to come sort of like 1/8 below that one, if you can see what I mean. Once you've folded it and given it the memory, there you can see. I'm going to just fold And then what we want to do is we want to stick all these mounting folds down. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over the valley folds and just giving them a good crease this side. The ones that look as though they've not creased. So there's one that's not creased. Not creased as well as I would like it, put it that way. And that's what it looks like underneath. And then just put the two valley folds together. What I'm doing is I'm putting the two valley folds together and just giving it a good crease so it gives it a good memory. So what we want to do is, that's the fins and the valley folds. So you want the valley folds up first, and what you want to do, now I usually go over and stitch my fins on, so that's why I'm using glue and not double-sided sticky tape. If you're not going to stitch your fins on, which you don't have to, I just like to, you can use double-sided sticky tape. Don't use double-sided sticky tape if you're going to put it on your sewing machine, because double-sided sticky tape doesn't dry, not straight away, and it will mess up with your sewing machine needle, and you'll end up having to pull it to bits and sort it out. So I know I've done it myself. I think what I should be doing is putting my little nozzle back on. So got that valley fold. Where's my little nozzle? I might need to poke it a little bit. Okay. Again, just lay it flat down and bring that up like that, and you can go over it like that, and then get your next valley fold ready. Flatten that down and bring up your next valley fold. Bring up your next valley fold and just crease it along there. And that glitter glue is quite strong, and once it grabs, it doesn't let go again, so make sure you've got your creases right, because I've done this a few times and I've knocked it off a little bit. Yep. And in my journals, if you follow me and you see the journal pages cascading out, that's how I get them. This is the spine that I use, but usually on normal journals I'll do a quarter inch there, not an eighth. So it gives you a little bit more room to manoeuvre and get your folds and everything. This is, and I usually use a digital for that as well. I print it out on something a little bit heavier, like a light cardstock. And just give that a good burnish down. And then what we do is we just fold the fins over like that. And I manipulate them a few times, and then I put it down like that and give it a wee squish. And there you are, you have 8 fins, and I can see it's gone, the card has been off a bit. I can see it by here, so I'll need to remember not to buy that card again. I bought it from Hobbycraft, it was in a pad, and what I'll do is I will, so you can see there, and that's what happened when I was creasing them. You can see it's not straight, so I will straighten that up. Just ever so slightly. That's it. And that side will be off slightly. There we are. And I'm not great at cutting straight edges, so it might still be off a little bit, but it'll be a lot better than what it was. And what we do here is, now we've got that there and that there, and they need to be in the middle of those two at both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down. And I'm going to put plenty of glue on here. In fact, I'm going to take this off again. Plenty on that bit. we want to have those two bits in the middle and the two bits in the middle there. And then all I do then is I go down and roll my fingers in each of the valleys, and it just puts the spine further down and fixes it in perfect. And then go back over, and if you've got any glue seepage, just wipe it. And I think we'll leave it at that. And the next one, when we come back, I will have put both spines in. I'll have put the pages on as well. Now normally I would put the pages on before I put the spines on, but I'm trying this a different way, so I'm going to put the pages on once this, because it's easier to put the spines down. And that one looks as though it's lifting a bit, so give it a good and there you can see the spine is perfect. Got a little bit of glue seepage. So next time I'll have put both spines in, I'll have put the pages on one, maybe some of the pages on the other, and I'll just give you an idea. Because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stitch the pages. I normally do, but I'm not going to stitch them. I'm just going to leave them because I might leave some as pockets. And then we'll look at covering, I think, doing some pockets and bits and pieces, fixing, what I'm going to have is like a wee slider lock on this. I'm not quite sure yet, but we will decorate the front of the journal and that at some point. So I will see you in the next video. So I hope you get something out of that. Hope you have a try. It's just cardboard and paper that was scrapped to me. You can use scrapbook paper, anything to do this, and you get an amazing result. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.